Nice.
And with that, hi everybody. We are live with our first episode of season 2 of Champions of the Fae. I am ridiculously excited for this. We've all been looking forward to this for quite a while. So yeah, I'm super stoked to get started. But before we do, I'm gonna say a few words about our sponsors. Let me just get that into chat there. They are Fundamental RPG, which is a simple D20 system. It's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play anything from your D&D-like high fantasy or sci-fi or anything in between. You can pick up physical copies. They look like this over on Amazon. Or if you want a digital copy, or if you just want to try out the free quick play guide, you can grab those over at my coffee shop, which is at the bottom of the screen, just coffee.com/Raven. And then just click on the shop button and you'll find it there. Also, you'll find the crowdfund page for this show. So if you want to help back the show so we can keep putting out really cool stuff like the amazing map that Anna put together and some other really cool stuff, you can do that there. And then also, I want to quickly mention, see if I remember the right code for that. Yeah, there we go. We are using some content from the Children's and Champions of the Fae supplement for D&D 5th edition. There's a link to go check that out there in chat. It's really cool. I used it a ton last season for my character. Less so this season, but it's really cool. You should go check it out. And with that, I want to introduce everyone and their characters, and then we'll get going. So we'll start with the top left with Anna. Tell us a little bit about you and your character.
Oh no, I go first this season. Yeah.
I figured I'd give Anna a break.
I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Funny most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at Archival Dustbun. And I am playing Ilyana, the mercenary, the elven mercenary and alleged thief. Yeah, she's a cool person. Totally trustworthy.
Awesome. Next, we've got Ian. Tell us about your character and yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Ian. You can find me on all socials at your boy Big. That's YABOIBIG. Do a lot. Tabletop role-playing enthusiast. I just love hanging out with these amazing people every time. And I am playing Marosha, half orc barbarian, more so of a pirate, sea merchant, kind of just like floating around, doing this thing, getting into trouble. He's also known for stirring up a couple fights in the tavern for a gold or two, or a night's stay, and a never-ending supply of ale that he just can put away with the best of them. So super happy to bring that character back. I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Next, we've got Par. Tell us a little bit about your character and yourself.
Hey, I'm Par, and I'm playing Gren Vicaris, a monk cleric multi-class who's looking to get into the mix of things, get back into that old adventuring life.
Awesome. Next, we've got M. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Yeah, I'm Emily. I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist and I complain a lot. I am playing Bernard Flynn, a human artificer who is a nerd who loves bar fights and explosives maybe a little bit too much, and he has no idea what the hell is going on.
Awesome. Let's see. Looks like I'm next. I'm Raven. I am a professional GM and game designer. I'm the head over at Raven Flight Games, and I run this channel. So I do a ton of different stuff in the tabletop realm, and then I am playing Othi, who is a halfling paladin / therapist. She was a guard captain in one of the really large trade cities in this world that we're going into. But eventually realized ACAB and left and is looking for adventure and new ways to help people. So that's me and my character. Next, we've got Zan. Tell us about yourself and your character.
For the first time in years not going first, I'm stunned. I've forgotten what I was going to say. I've lost the momentum. Hi, I'm Zan. You can find me most places at InsanityTTRPG. I am a VO game dev, homebrew writer, and your favorite resident therapeutic GM. Check me out in those places. I've got some other really cool stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna wait until the end. Let the suspension build. And I am playing a Varen, who is an Abixian, a Minotaur flavored as an Abixian, who is a druid with a little bit of extra stuff thrown in there. I'm sure you'll notice it as it comes up.
Nice. Last but not least, we got Andy, our awesome dungeon master. Tell us about yourself and this world, and then take it away.
Oh, yeah. Welcome in. I'm Andrew Martinez. You can find me online at Martinez Tweets. I'm a teacher, educator, science person, and also TTRPG dungeon master, and help make this awesome map, which, by the way, looks fantastic. You can get it for yourself by following the link that I'm sure we'll put out somewhere. It's been a work in progress, and it looks fantastic. In this map, though, you can see the realms of the Fae Wild, where we are going to be starting our game tonight. Now, if you joined us for last season, you might know a little bit about what's going on here, but if not, here's a little bit of what to expect. The realms of the Fae Wilds originally were separate, different places, all of the same realm, but different locations within that major Fae Wild plane. Now, that's normally what's going on. But last season, we started with all 6 of the major realms of the Fae Wilds merging together and becoming now one big, happy family. Things could move between the realms, and magics were getting a little bit funky. As planar travel ceased to exist, things that were trapped off-plane are off-plane, and things that were on-plane were on-plane, which led to a couple of issues. Mostly that whole summer court was almost entirely off of the Fae Wild completely, leaving our season 1 crew to figure out what the heck was going on. Now, after they did find out, they brought that information back to the summer court and have now dispersed that information. So rumors abound, but the people in charge have now, number 1, come back. They talked to an elder god, which exists still, at least as far as they knew, in the Fae Wild, down in the bottom of the abyssal Fae Sea, as they didn't know anything about what was happening in the entirety of above them, with just their own will, fixed a lot of problems and kept some things similar, having a discussion with our characters instead of a massive God-fearing fight. He's a pretty chill dude. But now all of the realms are still attached, and there is some trouble afoot, as the realm of Ahib, which is the swampland directly behind me, has started to breach its toxins and contaminations out to several of the surrounding realms. Now there's a question. What's happening? Why? Who is responsible? Is there anybody responsible? Or what's going on here? And at the same time, rumors abound all throughout the wilds. People are cautious, curious, and aware, alert. Some people are not responding to messages, and some people are sending far too many of them, as the questions remain the same. We're going to jump in with little introductions to our characters, figuring out who we are, where throughout the realms we might be, as we start right now in darkness, as we join Ileana. That's the wrong picture. Ileana, around you is darkness and cold, damp earth. As you're traveling through caverns and tunnels, the only light around is the bioluminescence of purple and pinks and blue mushrooms and fungus as they vine their way through these stone caverns as you travel silently and alone. Sound of inconsistent dripping water coming from somewhere. Ileana, go ahead and describe your character as though you were traveling silently through these tunnels in this dungeon that you find yourself in.
Yeah, we see at the bend to one of these tunnels. An elven woman pressed up against the wall, peeking around. Tan skin, golden eyes, freckles across her face. Kind of a shaggy, almost razor cut style, deep orange bob. Wearing dark leather armor with some purple accents and just black cloth across the bottom part of her face.
As you're traveling, you're following a piece of paper that has a sketched map on it that you drew yourself, knowing the pathway, knowing the direction that you seek, and your prize that you're after. You travel down the corridors and with your incredible perception, hear a slight movement off in one of the corners as you pause and listen and wait. As you see a figure traveling through the corridors far enough away where you know they're over there, but they have no idea where you are. As you wait, they keep walking. And you turn to the right, follow your map a little ways down the next vault. And to your right and to your left, as you're traveling through these corridors, are little passageways, little doorways, little rooms that you know are full of things. Each one of these rooms is a vault and has in it something. Within every single one, there's an item. Here, as you find yourself in the underground vault of the Gloaming Court in Umbervale. As you make it to the one that you seek, the passageway lies in front of you, closed, as though the earth itself was in your way. What do you do?
I will check along the seams. I found a key earlier. Just left lying around. But I'll check around the seams and see how one might use it here.
All right, go ahead and roll me an investigation check, please. Intelligence investigation. First roll of the game, let's go.
Okay.
Or intelligence arcana check, either one.
I'll take investigation.
Okay.
Definitely. And if I fail this, I will add to it. If that's a failure, I will add to it.
Okay. It is not, actually. Especially with the key, which happens to be looking the shape and size of like a wand. You look at the what is in your hand here, find an insert, find a spot. As you put the key in, a pathway starts to draw itself out as you instinctively start to follow it. And you trace a pattern, a sigil or a rune that starts to emerge into the wall itself. As you complete it, going all the way back around to where you started, the wall, the stone itself begins to fade away and move out of your way. And as it does, the light in front of you is blinding. And you shield your eyes for just a second as they adjust to this room that is now in front of you. As before, you were in almost pitch darkness. And now, you see the rumors are true, that this object in front of you does indeed burn like a miniature sun. It is larger than you expected. It is about 7 feet in diameter. It is floating in the middle of this room, not touching any walls. And the cavern around you is full of these stalks of mushrooms and other types of fungus, as the entire room looks like it is growing towards the centralized orb. As it spirals and shifts, is fluid in a way, but also still and stagnant. What do you do?
I know with light this bright, I don't have long. So I glance over my shoulder and then I will scan the room to see if there are any traps, alarms, anything like that before stepping in.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
Perception. Come on, roll 20. If that's a failure, I will add to it.
Let's go ahead and add to it, see what happens.
Okay. Like that. Oh, come on.
All right. As you scan around, you don't see anything that looks like a trap. Nothing that is attached, nothing that is like a pull cord, no obvious things. You have these stone walls around you, and out of these walls are growing these stalks. Some are larger than others, some have caps on the ends, some are just the stalks of these fungus. There's a lot of different types here in this cavern. But as far as specific traps go, nothing you could tell.
Okay. Then I will move in quickly and confidently, since I do not see any traps, pulling the locket that I'm wearing off of my neck.
Okay.
As anything happens as I approach it.
Well, are you activating your locket? Or are you just getting closer to this thing?
When I get close enough, yeah, I will. I'll open up the locket and I'll say a few quiet words in Sylvan and hold it up towards this object.
Okay. As you step closer to this object and prepare your locket, you do sense that these other rumors that you've heard are seemingly also true. Without even measuring it, you can tell that this thing is powerful. It just walking into this room, you feel the magical aura off of this. It also is frigidly warm as you get closer to this thing. It feels both like the skin of your body is in bright daylight, while your inside is on the top of the Umbervale spire in the middle of a blizzard. As you get closer, you hold up your locket and activate. As it starts to open up, and another bright light comes out. That light turns and engulfs the massive orb that floats in the sky above you in this room covered in mushrooms as it pulls it in. And you feel both warm and cold in this locket as it vibrates in your hand for just a second. You can feel it humming. This is a powerful thing that you have now put inside of a magic object. And it works. It calms down and stays silent in your hand. As the room around you goes back to being pitch dark. And as it does, your eyes start to readjust. And you can see that a few of these clusters of mushrooms off to the wall start to glow a little bit brighter than the other ones around them.
Breathe a sigh of relief and put the locket back on and drop it down inside of my armor. Now the tricky part. I'm going to try and make my way out of the vault of the Gloaming Court.
And before you even turn around, those clusters of mushrooms that were glowing a little bit brighter than the others start to move and twist and emerge out of the wall itself as 1, 2, 3 of these quadriplegic mammals that could have been known as wolves had they had the upper neck and head of them. Instead, from their torsos are these long stalks of bright orange and purples and yellows as they all turn to face you in a way that only a physical entity can. As you hear in your head, "You know not what you do," as they start to move forward on you. What do you do?
Shit. They look like wolves, so they look fast.
Yes. Well, you haven't seen them sprint, but they have wolf-like legs.
Yeah, I am going to turn and start running, and as I do, I am going to black energy wraps around my hand and forms a spike, and I'm going to throw that spike at the one closest to me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that for me, please.
be just a plain attack. I don't have advantage. Oh, come on, roll 20. Give me something higher than a 5.
Well, with that additional +8, a 13 hits, absolutely. As your Psychic Blade makes contact with this entity.
So, 11 points psychic damage.
Yeah, and with that, one of these things gets blasted by your blade, and it did not enjoy that. This one collapses onto the ground, and it is kind of it's not completely gone yet, but it's a little bit out of commission.
Yeah, I'm going to turn a bonus action dash and run.
Wonderful. As you out of the corridor, as two of these wolves chase after you, two of them stay behind. One that you knocked out and one that is doing something else at least. But you have two after you. How are you getting away from these two?
They don't look like they have noses, right?
Nothing from here up.
I'm going to continue down the hallway till I find an alcove or a place where I can turn off, and I will step back into that and just dissolve into the shadows and turn invisible.
Wonderful. Excellent. As these two entities sprint right past you, as you vanish into the darkness, and follow them, as they know the way out. They know where they think you are heading, and are leading you right to the exit. As eventually you make your way through the rest of these caverns, pausing every once in a while, giving them a wide enough berth where you don't want to get too close, just in case. After a couple of close calls, you do eventually find your way out into the snowy peaks of Umbervale. Where do you go from here?
From here, I know that I need to head to Infandor. Another job awaits me there. Life of a sellsword, am I right? So I'm heading to the border between Infandor and Ahib.
Excellent. As you start to traverse your way down the treacherous mountains, making yourself known to the realm of Umbervale itself, as it knows who it accepts and who it doesn't. You trek for however long it takes you. As we'll be back up with Ileana in a little bit. Now, our camera goes up and over to another realm, another location in our same realm of Umbervale. Another mountaintop. This one is actually at the border that, Ileana, you are heading towards, where Umbervale meets Ninfandor. As we see Viren, go and describe your character for us.
Yeah, so you will see a fairly tall, pretty lanky goat person, Nabixian, with two horns curling down underneath its chin and two larger horns going up. Were it standing full, it would be somewhere in the mid 7-foot region, but it kind of perpetually has a bit of a shape to its spine, and it tends to walk quietly. You can definitely tell as it moves that it is holding back from its full speed, and as you continue to look at it, you see that it has long shaggy brown fur that seems to shift in with shades of black and shades of green. Very minimal armor, a few strips of hide around the shoulder, just a simple sash around the waist, a giant Kaiser blade at his side, and he is standing kind of just looking around, a bit impatient and a bit confused.
Okay. And as you stand there and survey your scene, you're currently still in the realm of Umbervale, but before you do see the wall that exists separating the realms, shimmering, golden, all the way up as far as your eye can see. And this is probably maybe the first time, second time. Has Varen seen these barriers before?
Probably not often. Maybe a long time ago.
Well, there's one right over there. And you could see through it. It is transparent in a way that only magic can be. As you notice in the other side, over on the Nymphindor side, there's 2 small carts that look like they are moving towards Umbervale. They're coming closer to you, and they are moving fast. And you can see that as it gets a little bit closer, they are being attacked right now. There looks to be at least some altercation that's happening on these 2 moving carts as they are traveling towards you in Umbervale. What do you do?
And do I know if they or I are able to come through the barrier?
If this is your first time seeing it, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
Oh, that's not good.
Or a history check. I will give you either.
Well,
all right.
Neither of them is going to be very good.
Okay. Unsure. There's a big shimmering wall of magic in front of you, and if Varen's seen a thing or two about magic, it's that sometimes you can pass through it, and sometimes you should not try.
Okay. In that case, Varen is going to look out at the people approaching.
This is odd. Who is Varen to help? Varen will ask.
And we'll cast Mold Earth underneath the barrier. See if it goes down.
Okay. Yeah, and as you... The barrier does go into the ground. Yeah.
This is a good thing to know. And then Varen will reach out and just try to touch the barrier, see if it goes through.
And it does. Absolutely.
Grand. And then Varen will start not galloping, but galloping with 2 legs. Whatever that is. Frolicking? Sure, there's some glee in it. Frolicking.
Skipping, maybe?
Yeah. And we'll run over. And I think he will use he only has his movement left, so he'll just, move over and go,
Hello. What is happening?
As you go, you're putting your body into the realm of Nymphindor now. Okay, great. You move through this barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And I do need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Isn't it fun when the druid doesn't have proficiency in wisdom saving throws? That's a 20, though. I'll take it.
All right. Excellent. As you move from the realm of Umbervale, which is massive mountainous peaks covered in blizzards and inhospitable to almost everything on the outside, into this realm of grass and hills and pink and purple clouds and carelessness. As you feel part of that start to come over you, this desire to roam and explore and not find whatever that is so important, you shake it off. As you know how these realms work, you know that there are ingrained magics in all of them. And if you're not from there, or not normally there, then the realm itself needs to welcome you, specifically. And you have been welcomed by the realm of Nymphindor. As you move your way closer, these carts are traveling towards you still. They are about 50 feet away from you. They are moving fast, directly towards the barrier of the realm. And as they get a little bit closer, you can see that in this cart are a few hobgoblins, but they are not the ones being the aggressors here. They are in the carts. And what you can see besides them are at least 4, 2 per each cart. These small, quickly moving creatures that you haven't quite gotten a beat on. Go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick.
10.
Okay. They're moving fast. You can tell that they are doing some hectic things over on these carts, but as far as what they are, a little unsure. Nothing that you've seen before. Maybe a Chorid. They're small, but there's not nearly enough hair. Maybe it's this other. I mean, nothing you've seen here before.
Okay, that sounds great. In that case, I will hold my action until they're like right up on me. The folks, the tiny things, are chasing the cart, so they're a little behind, right?
They are like climbing over the cart, right?
Oh, they're on the cart.
They are on the cart right now. Yes.
That's good to know. Okay. Yeah, in that case, I think I am still going to hold my action. And once they are in range, I don't even. So yeah, I'm going to hold my action to cast Thorn Whip.
Okay.
So once they get close.
All right.
And I'm gonna hang out so that I'm like, roughly, one could say 10 foot away from where it looks like the cart is going to come through.
Excellent. And in the next couple of seconds, these carts are not stopping. They are moving fast right now. And within the next couple of seconds, you are exactly where you want to be. You see 2 on this front car, 2 on the second car. And the hobgoblins here, as they get a little bit closer, you can tell that at least 1 per cart is actively fighting back, as the other is trying to steer this cart. But one of the drivers of the first cart, or the driver of the first cart, looks like they are already injured. They look like they are both driving the cart and holding on to a wound at the same time, as the other one is fending off both of these tiny little creatures on their cart right now. And as they've gotten a little bit closer, you can see that they have kind of like a flattened lupine-like face. Their skin is pulled taut over this kind of skeletal frame. And it's wearing, and you would know this more than other folks, it's wearing bone and pieces of entrail and pieces of previous meals, victims, who knows. It has black spikes sticking out of its spine and red dark fur that is spotted all over its body. And they are maniacal, as you can hear them getting closer to you, in a language you do not understand. As these hobgoblins start hacking away, you have your Thorn Whip.
Yeah, okay, well, first attack from this guy in the game.
Yeah.
I'll take that 24.
Hell yeah. And that is definitely enough to hit this guy.
Nice. So that is 6, and I will pull him towards me.
And yeah, you yank him right off the top of this cart. He comes flying towards you.
Awesome.
You
No, is it
yeah,
my, can I do something?
Yeah. If you have another thing to do on this turn.
Oh yeah, totally.
All right, great. Yeah, he's right there. You pulled him. He's only 10 feet from you. Nice. Right. And as he gets closer, this thing is terrifying to behold, and you are a force to be reckoned with. It is. Go ahead right now, and make me an Arcana check, please. Again.
Oh, another one of these.
Another one of those, yes.
Okay. Wow. Wowza. Okay, great.
2 natural 20s and they're both a 19? Bummer. But that's great. As you are looking at this entity here, and you've seen some wild-looking Fae creatures. This is either something very dark and Fae-like, or something that is different and not necessarily from here. It is not something that you recognize. It is not something that you know of. And that, for you, is surprising.
Okay.
And it's here. It's disgusting. and it's right in front of you.
I guess we're about to figure out what it tastes like. So Varen will, you'll see his, like his bones start to shift underneath the skin, and he stops for a second and goes,
Wait, Varen will do good.
and will hold his hand out and cast Healing Spirit on the cart.
Okay. All right. I like that.
So there are...
Tell me what that looks like.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what it looks like is, his skin's still kind of shifting around. He concentrates for a second, and as it brings its hand up, we see this kind of 3-4 vines just interweave over a spot, kind of making a little bit of a little shelter overhead, and dark purple leaves start to fall. And in the immediate area, there is an unpleasant, some would say, odor of rotted meat and sickly sweet sugar. Not great to smell, but everyone in that area can take a 1d6 healing up to 4 times.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that every creature or just the ones that you are?
Just the ones that I pick.
Excellent. Cool.
Aha. And as that is my bonus action, once it is made and safe, and then this, a sneeze you've been trying to hold in for too long, his skin will rip open, and there is a Smilodon smiling a little wider than seemed possible, and is going to do nothing and just snarl, hard to say, at this one on the ground.
And as you look at this one on the ground, it looks back at you and smiles back and goes right in your face as it tries to lunge at you as well.
Right.
And it's going to try and do something. This one is going to jump at you and try and bite you for a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, great. That is going to be 10 piercing damage.
10 piercing damage. Okay.
And what size are you now?
I am large now.
Okay. As this thing is now latched onto your muzzle, right on your face, right on the tip of your nose. And it's going to try and claw at your face as well. And that is going to be an 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Okay, cool. That is going to be... another 10 slashing damage from this claw.
All right.
As you have this thing attached to your snout.
Great. That means it can't run away. I'll go ahead and make those concentration checks.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have Warcaster. Where are we at? So, save number 1 and save number 2.
Okay.
10 or half damage rounded. What's the save?
Yeah, so, yep.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. No, 21. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, so I'll keep Healing Spirit will stay up.
Okay. As it's working, you can see that over there on the carts, these hobgoblins are getting a little bit more rejuvenated. They are starting to fight back, and especially if you've removed one of them from the issue, now it's not a 1v1 all the time, as they are making some headway against the other 3 that they have. But what are you doing with yours?
Well, I'm going to try to scratch it the fuck off.
Okay.
My biting options are unfortunately limited.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and make a strength check for me as you're trying to get this thing off your face. That's going to be plenty. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, you're attacking this thing right on... Never mind, right?
Yeah, I'm scratching at the thing. In front
Oh,
of
I
me.
see. You're attacking it right. I see. I thought you were trying to remove it. Excellent.
Oh, no. It can't get away if it's on my face.
That is true. Absolutely. So the first attack is going to hit And the second attack is not going to hit.
Oh, it's only one attack.
Okay.
It doesn't have multi-attack, unfortunately.
Excellent. Even better.
But I'll take that 15 damage.
Excellent. Absolutely. You get this thing good right across its back, as it is still latched onto you. It looks like it's already been hurt a little bit by these hobgoblins, so it's not at full fighting capacity, but it is not giving up. Is there anything else you want to do right now?
No, I think that since it's on me, that's all I can do.
Okay. Yeah, and it's still on you, and it is trying to literally rip the flesh off of your face right now. And that is going to be an 18 to hit for its first one. That is a natural 20 for the second.
Oh!
Sorry. That's going to be 9 for the first one. And 18 for the second one.
Safe.
This is all slashing damage.
9 and 18, so that's 20 to 37.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Great. This Smilodon is not looking good. That's okay.
Got this thing latched literally on the front of your snout right now. As the heals are still going off, those hobgoblins are looking like they're actually doing okay. They're scuffling. What are you up to?
Well,
you got this thing on your face.
Oh, well.
It's also not looking hot, but it is still there.
I mean, there is no going back at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and try to claw that thing off one more time.
Okay. That's gonna hit. Yep.
All right. And we'll do another 18 slashing.
Okay.
I may not have multi-attack, but I hit hard.
That is true. With that 18. With that attack, this thing does detach from your body as it falls onto the ground, and it is struggling, still screaming at you. It did not ever stop doing that unless you were literally in its mouth. And it is not looking like it is going to at least quit on its own. But it is prone on the ground right now.
Okay then. I don't have anything I can do as bonus action or reaction at the moment since I'm keeping the are they still benefiting from that, or can I tell that it's faded?
The heal?
Yeah.
I think it stays for 4 rounds.
I can only like heal people 4 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can only use it a number of times, like 2 plus my 5 times. 2 plus my spellcasting mod.
There's a few of them that could still benefit from it. They were attacked a little bit before then, but it's up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. Then Yeah, I guess I'll stay there. Not a lot I can.
This thing is going to jump right back up to its feet, and it's going to jump right back at your face. And that's not going to make it, actually. That is going to be a 13.
Nope.
Which is not going to do it.
That would have been a regular Smilodon.
But not this one. As you dodge a little bit out of the way, move just enough where this thing flies right past your head as it lands on the ground and looks at you as it turns back around, and it's still right next to you. What are you up to? It is currently oozing. Not blood, but darkness, black, ichor, coming from parts of its body where you have previously scratched.
I was previously interested in figuring out what this thing tasted like, but am less interested now. So instead of a bite, we're going to try to finish it off with like one giant swat.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll that for me. Yep.
Oh, well, I guess I'm going to bite it, I guess. 24.
That's going to hit.
12 piercing.
And that is plenty. As you biting this thing?
Oh, yeah.
as you rip in, your teeth sink into the body of this creature as it explodes in your mouth, and the sound silence stops as you have a disgusting taste in your mouth. Toxic, corrosive, black, sticky tar like ichor in between your teeth and on your tongue and running down your throat as you have eaten this thing.
Varen did not wish to be a part of this food chain.
And will still tigered up, start running over to the other caravan. I'm probably moving like half speed since it's probably like on the way. Fun cat hairball noises.
And as you get to the caravan, it looks like the 4 hobgoblins that have been benefiting from your heals and are now on a 3v4 instead of a 4v4 have also ended up dispatching their own creatures as well. As one of them looks over to you, and this one seems to be the one in charge, the older one that was in the driving position of the first cart. A little bit more wounded, but definitely the senior, as he looks over to you and goes, "You've helped us. Thank you. Where are you going?"
I think with that, the skin of the tiger kind of starts to slough off and sizzle as it hits the ground, and Varen stands back up to his full height and then quickly crouches back down.
Varen is doing a task for Brother Ox. Varen goes on this road.
That's good. They need you over there. My name is Jarg.
What happens?
We have just come from the Southern Star, and we barely got out eventually. These things have been following us for days now. Finally caught up, and we were hoping to seek shelter in Umbervale.
Fine. Yes, there is places. Perhaps Brother Ox would help, but Varen does not know for certain.
This is good to know.
Rest easy. If Varen sees any more on this road, Varen will remove them. They do not belong in this food chain.
They do not. That is true. Well, to Brother Ox then. And they look back at the other 3 who...
Tell Brother Ox that Varen was good.
Of course. Thank you. Again. We'll see you up the road. And they get back in their cart and they head off.
Varen keeps going the direction that he was going and smiles contentedly, knowing he took not a single point of damage.
As you head off down towards your destination, which coincides in the same direction that they had just told you about, heading in the direction of the Southern Star, down towards Infandor. And we pan up over the hills of grass, through the purple and blue clouds, as we descend, still in Infandor, but a little bit further away, as we see a man with, well, go ahead and describe Ben for us, please.
Basically, picture a steampunk cowboy. He does not look like he belongs here at all, with a long, like waist-length, copper red hair tied back. His right arm has been replaced, covered in metal and rivets with some runes etched in it. He does not look like he's having a good time. He looks like he's been out here for a little while and has maybe a slight idea where he's going, but not much, and is desperately hoping to come across some form of civilization soon.
Well, as you are wandering through these hills, just go ahead and roll me a perception check real quick.
Oh, goody. Oh, that's odd. Hold on, it's not letting me click anything. Okay. Oh, that's not good.
Wonderful. As you just start looking around, trying to find literally anything that you recognize, anybody, anything that is around you in these golden hills that you find yourself in, you don't see anything. And then a voice pops up directly next to you as you hear, "What's that on your arm?" As you look directly next to you, and there is a little centaur that looks like they're about Shetland pony height. They have... Hello? Oh. There's an at. Anyway, they look like they are, well, they're wearing a robe. That robe is completely solid blue. They look like they are fairly young, and their hair is just all over the place, as they are just staring at your arm in awe.
He kind of jumps, oh, son of a bitch, and looks and is thankful. This does not look like some of the more unpleasant things he ran into earlier. What do you mean, what? Oh, and he realizes the centaur is looking at his right arm. He says, that is my arm.
Whoa. There's like stars and... Whoa. Could you see the future?
Oh, he's talking about his left arm.
Yeah, he's looking at both, but now he's looking at the planets.
Yeah, his left arm, his sleeves are long enough that only a little bit is showing.
Okay.
But there's enough showing that there are some stars. He does pull his left sleeve up enough, about up to his elbow, and he does have a full tattoo sleeve that is very vividly detailed and colored, and it has all kinds of constellations and nebulae and galaxies, probably none of which look familiar to this centaur, and some of them, if you look closely at them, seem to move subtly, but if you look at them a little too closely, they stop. Yeah, that. What about him?
It's really cool.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I thought it was.
I don't recognize that. Where's... you from a different sky? Or do you just not know where the stars are?
You know what? Different sky is actually a really good way of putting it.
Huh. Like from, Sylvanthi? Do they have a different sky there?
I don't know Sylvanthi.
You don't know Sylvanthi?
No.
Do you know, where you are now?
No. You wouldn't happen to know a lightning rail, would you?
What?
Oh, well.
Like a... Like that?
A little more controlled.
A little more... Like that?
I think I'm gonna take that as a no.
Oh, well. I mean, I don't, but someone else might. Where are they? He starts looking around.
Or a village or a camp or something that's not just empty middle of nowhere.
And as you ask him that, he's like, oh, okay. Well, I think we're headed somewhere. We're headed that way.
You said we?
Yeah. Where are they? Huh. And he just starts looking around. As you start also looking around, as you start to hear voices, a few of them, and over one of the hillsides, you see a few more centaurs emerge over the horizon as they start to head their way down towards the two of you. And similar to this one that you see here, who is wearing a solid blue robe, the other ones are also wearing different versions of similar robes. One of these has a green robe with yellow stars all around it, with bright red hair. And one of these has a light blue robe with yellow stars around it, with long brown hair that goes all the way down to their back. And next to them is a much larger centaur with a black and white robe that goes all the way down, and short cropped hair, as they just are looking over. And they're the last one down. The other two start to head down over to where you are, as this younger centaur starts to run off and greet them, and they are a little bit out of earshot. But there are a handful of centaurs right over there.
Ben kind of hesitates and at least gives a wave before starting to approach, hoping that'll be a sign that he's not planning on attacking them. Plus, he doesn't have he doesn't technically have a weapon in his hands.
And they acknowledge you. They look up, and the first one to start walking over to you is the one with the short, bright red hair. As he speaks up and, hey, you were talking to, what's your name?
It's Bernard. Ben. Yourself?
Ember.
Ember.
What are you doing out here?
That's a good quote. Well, just trying to find a settlement or a camp or something. That's a good question. I have no idea how I got here.
No idea how you got here. Would you just fall from the sky or something? Or do you just appear? We've had actually a couple of things like that, so that wouldn't be... Do you remember? Or...
Well, I guess fell, but not from the sky. Thank goodness. That wouldn't have been very good.
Well, welcome to Nymphador. You don't know anywhere around here, do you?
No.
Okay. Well, first off, hello. You've already met Little Mess. That is Lorraine and Tesselaron. And we're actually heading down to this little, to the Southern Star right now. We've got things to go look at over there. It's probably the closest settlement you're going to find, because there's not very many of them here in the first place. So, do you want to come with us, or do you want to just keep walking the other way?
Please, okay. By all means. That would be wonderful.
Sweet. Is there just you? Anybody else we're gonna?
No, it's just me. I somehow was the only person in my group that wound up here.
Well, all right. Hey, welcome to here, I guess. Where are you from originally? Do you know that?
Well, Sharn.
Huh. Say I've heard of that one, but maybe Tess has. Who knows? Either way, there seems to be some things we got to take care of when we get over there. So if you're feeling like helping out, great. And if you're feeling like just getting to a place and calling it, that's where we're going either way. So that's really cool, though. Both of those. And he starts looking at your metal arm, and yeah.
Out of character, Emily is very happy to see the centaurs. Ben is also happy to see something that is not aggressive. You know what? What the hell? I already had a run-in with something else nasty. Why not? Only seems fair. I'll help you out.
Cool. Well, more hands is always good.
Yeah, many hands make light work and all that.
Yeah, we don't really know exactly what's happening, but it seems to be the thing that goes on here now.
Yeah, par for the course.
What can you expect?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're almost there. Kind of. Let's get going. As anything else you want to ask these centaurs specifically as before you start heading to the Southern Star?
You said this has been happening a lot lately?
Well, yeah, kind of. There's been unexplained things that have been going on, like those, and he just gestures out, and you can see the golden shimmering walls, even from where you are. That's new, relatively. There's been things happening, corruption and toxins that have been in this water. That's really what we're going to go check out right now. I heard there's a little camp out there that's helping the people at the Southern Star, and we're going to go check out, see if we can do anything ourselves too. So we haven't been down there yet, so we'll see.
All right. Well, that's great, because just wandering around the hills.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you are not dead, I'll be honest. Have you seen those big pink tumbleweed things? Definitely don't touch those. They look pretty, but wow. Oof. First time guide, just avoid those. Just avoid those completely.
No, I figured touching random things probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, that's usually, you'd be surprised though. So I'm glad that you have the sense though. Yeah, but you're alive. Hey, impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, I get that a lot actually. And he does have what looks like shrapnel scars on the right side of his face. And given their positioning, it looks like he is lucky to have his right eye.
Well, looks like you're in the right place then. You could use someone who's lucky like that. Has been in the 4 centaurs start to head off towards the Southern Star. And now we'll be back to Ninfandor in just a few minutes as we go up again to another realm, as we enter into the realm of Elastidir, the ancient forest, and to the city of Maihea, the home of the Summer Court and the capital, mostly, of the majority of the Fae. As we find Marosha. You are currently standing at the cliffside of Maihea, watching the water around you, looking out at the crashing of the waves, and in front of you, you can see the twin islands, or in this case now, twin peninsulas of Sovanthi. Marosha, go ahead and describe your character for us, please.
Marosha is a very assuming type person. He's like a 6'3" very heavy set build. Definitely not one to shy from hard labor, being that most of his adventures were on pretty much a pirate ship of Pirano. He's sitting down, kind of taking it in. The sea air is what calms him. He's wearing kind of similar to the Dread Pirate Roberts outfit from Princess Bride without the sleeves, and he has his bag and his cloak sitting to the side, and you can see that there's a very large trident that's matte black and has some rose gold filigree in it. And outside of his size, and of course, being an orc with his tusks, you do see on his arms he has like a very intricate series of like tribal tattoos. Some that he doesn't understand, but it's been with him ever since he was young, and it looks cool in a tavern. It's a bit intimidating, and he sits there and he kind of just then he looks down at his trident and he goes, "Well, Bertha, I guess we'll see what we have for us next. As long as the coin purse doesn't empty and my belly stays full with ale, I guess we're living." And he stands up, brushes himself off, kind of folds his cloak into his back, puts it over, and puts Bertha on his back, and he kind of just looks one more time at the sea, right? Because that's truly where his like the only place he's felt home, and kind of slowly paces away.
And as you look out at the sea, right now you are waiting for your friend Othi to join you. And as you take your last glance out of the water and close your eyes and you focus on the sound and the scent of the ocean air and the breeze, finding that peace one more time. And the feeling of cold comes over you. And you open your eyes and look out to the same water that you were just looking at. And you can see that the once crystal clear blue waters are now black and dark and contaminated. You can see that what you can only describe as toxic oil, toxic black sludge is engulfing the shores and encroaching on the city of Maihea. It shivers through your body in this frigid explosion as the peace evaporates, leaving only shock and dread as you look over and see the realms of Sylvanthi with this massive storm engulfing both islands. And in front of you, you see pure devastation and destruction as in your head, you hear it one more time. You are bound for destruction. And you blink, and it's gone. It's crystal clear blue, perfect, beautiful sky. As you feel the ocean waves and breeze hit you again, as you hear a voice come over from behind you, as Othi, you show up and are meeting your friend here. You're off on your next adventure. Go ahead and describe yourself as you enter the scene.
So Othi is just, it's not quite the right word, but the only one I can think of is trudging up the hill. It's a bit steep, and she's a stout halfling with plate armor on and a big shield and a giant hammer. So there's a little bit of a quiet clattering as she comes marching up the hill, and her armor is it's like a darker silver with green filigree. That's in designs of leaves and vines and some daisies on there. She's got this relative to her big shield with that same sort of design and aesthetic on it, and this great big eye in the middle of a sun on the front. And the unique thing about the shield is that on the back of it, where she holds it, a little fold-out step stool is mounted onto the shield. And then she has a big war hammer, same aesthetic, and then she's got a hammer sort of dangling down from her belt. And she's got sort of blue-gray eyes, not terribly unlike the color of the ocean that Marosha's looking over, and blonde hair and sort of a neat bob cut. And yeah, she comes stomping on up to where Marosha is. Hey, you ready to go?
With that whole mental scene, Marosha is now pretty much white knuckling part of the hilt of his trident, and when he hears Othi, that's when the release on his hand goes, and he turns around and he goes, yeah, sorry, no, absolutely. I was just having a moment. It's quite peaceful up here.
Yeah, I am gonna miss this view. It's nice, the ocean, and it's just that peace. But
Beautiful. It's serene to say at least, but I'm extremely happy that you called out to me. It's been quite some time, and I'll be very honest, seeing a friendly face who doesn't need anything from me it's a joy, honestly.
oh, I'm happy I can give you a friendly face to look at, and yeah, I'm glad you're coming along too. I didn't really want to set out for all of this adventuring and sightseeing and everything by myself. It'd be a bit lonely.
Oh, absolutely not. And trust, like I said before, if you ever need me, especially if it's something of adventure, I'm quick to join. So
Yeah, well, every good adventure starts with the first step, so shall we?
yeah, absolutely. Let's go. I'm following you.
Awesome. And she sort of motions towards the trail and leads away from the city. And yeah, we start walking.
Excellent. As the two of you move from the city of Maihea, which you've been in for quite some time, as the city itself is set up in kind of a sunrise location. There's several paths that come out in a sun ray kind of marker as you follow the most southern one, heading towards the realm of Ninfendor. As you travel through the forests of Elassidir for a few days on your travel, there's plenty to see as the shining green gems that stick out of the ground and dot the forest floor merge with the massive oak trees and the fun little illusions that the forest likes to play on everybody just whenever it feels like. As you make your way through, you pass through a massive field of flowers in this big open space, and it's an interesting break. Being here in the forest, once you enter the forest, very few times will you find an open glade, but this one here is beautiful. It has thousands and thousands of different types of flowers as you travel through.
Othi's
Go ahead.
sorry. Othi's definitely doing a lot of oohs and ahs and running through the flowers because she sees a particular one that she's never seen before. And probably within an hour of going through this glade, she has like a whole little like flower crown that she's put together.
Marosha kind of feels like he's in the middle of like the Wizard of Oz, and he's looking around because most of the scenes that he's used to are like leaky boats and stinky dudes and stale ale just filling the air, and just swears up and down, and just fallacious people just doing things, and he's uncomfortable, but yet at the same time he's like, well, this is different. Othi, I do have a question. And
yeah,
excuse my ignorance, is the place that we're going to be like this? So colorful, so cheerful? I mean, it's wonderful, absolutely, but please tell me where we're going at least has, I don't know, a tavern to where I can punch a wall or something. It's so vibrant. I'm not used to it.
I mean, me either. I've only ever been around Maihea, so this is all new to me too. I like it though. It's very colorful and bright. It makes me happy. I always like flowers. but yes, I should hope they'd have a tavern. I definitely am going to need a really big meal after all of this walking.
Yeah.
We're planning on going to a city, so I'm sure they'll have taverns and things like that. And I've heard it's very flat, not a lot of trees. But I don't know if it's as colorful or not.
Yeah. Well, I'll make time to enjoy it while we're walking through it. But between you and I, because there's no one else here, I'm itching for a little bit of trouble. And he kind of gives just a smirk and picks up a flower, puts it in his pocket, and he keeps walking.
Well, I don't know if I'd say I want some trouble, but a little
You know,
a little excitement might be nice.
Yeah, better word, of course. I don't know if you've heard or not, but like I've obtained a moniker now. I'm the Fist of the Parano. Apparently, my excursions through taverns and pretty much, picking the strongest and beating them at the wheel earns me a night, as well as an, never-ending tankard. So it's been a minute. I don't know, looking to have some fun.
Wow, the fist, huh? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, if they only knew, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard some stories going around about Oathie Stonebreaker, about how I single-handedly broke a mountain in half, right?
Honestly, not have I only heard the stories, but I don't know if you've heard this one about Oathie, about how you just completely manhandled two bulls intertwined. Apparently, they were attacking you from either sides, and you just swiftly jumped up, and you're supposed to have their horns connected to your shield. That's what you made your step stool out of. If you heard that one was for me.
I see. I was gonna suspect the local bard. He likes to embellish.
No, he does like to embellish from what I hear, but no, I'm gonna take responsibility from that one. Of course, anyone that I run travel with, they're the strongest, they're the best, they're the smartest, and although be it that is already true, who's to say just a little bit more embellishment just to keep everyone on their toes?
I generally prefer honesty, but if you want to embellish and it makes you happy, I suppose there's no harm.
The only thing that's dishonest about that is that I wasn't there. So it is what it is. To me, it's true.
Well, just between you and I, the breaking the mountain in half part was I broke open a couple of boulders and rescued some kids from a rock slide. It wasn't that epic.
Sounds like a mountain to me.
She just sort of shrugs modestly.
Beautiful. God, that was fun. Okay.
Oh, that was wonderful. As the two of you, Oathie and Marosha, start to just swap stories and hang out and reconnect over your trek through the rest of the Forest of Alastir as you ultimately move into the realm of Nymphindor and into the rolling hills and the fields, finding your way through to your next destination. As we pick up one more time and we head over to the Southern Star itself, as we go a little bit past the Southern Star, which as we pass over, you can see that there are, like many settlements in Nymphindor, temporary buildings. Nothing here is forever. Nothing here is built to last more than a little bit. And things are built, taken down, rebuilt in the same spot, rebuilt in different spots, like the camp that we traveled into right now, where we find Gren. And Gren, you're not alone here. You are actually working with a couple of denizens of Nymphindor. They are not centaurs, however, they are Alceids. They are kind of deer-like entities, cousins to the centaurs in many ways. More streamlined, more antlery, and in this case, worried about the lake that is right next to them and the people around that are maybe need a little bit of assistance and help as you find yourself at the lake itself that is both touching Nymphindor, touching the realm of Ahib, which you can see across the water, and touching the realm of Gefelden, which you can see directly across from you. Here there are a handful of larger tents. There's about 4 other Alceids here that are with you, and a couple of other folks that are either getting tended to or trying to give information or anything else that they feel is necessary for you. Gren, go ahead and describe your character for us, and what do we find you doing here at this camp?
Absolutely. Gren Vicaris is a hobgoblin man with cherry red skin that seems to have faded a bit, if that makes sense. He's a bit of a loss of color there. He's got green eyes that seem a bit dull, not from an absence of a good mood, but the colors seem to be a little drained. He's got caramel brown hair. I hope that's the right shade. In sort of like a faux hawk sort of situation going on up top. Probably looks horrible at the moment. And he's wearing, I guess it's a bit much. He's wearing a silver tunic that has black trim, black breeches. On his shoulders is a fur-lined black cloak, and on each of the on the shoulders of the cloak are the not actual, but like sewn, sort of crafted heads of black banded owls that face outward. And he's also got some nice black boots as well on his feet.
Okay. And what is Gren up to right now? You got a couple of things in front of you. You got some tents, some people that need tending to, some water that needs looking at. There's a couple of options here.
So, Gren, I don't know how long Gren has been on the scene, but he's been hanging around trying to help out as best he can. And one of the spells he has access to is create or destroy water. So I imagine at this point, Gren has probably been making a bit of, 10 gallons per first level spell. So over time since they obviously can't mess with this water, has over time been casting create or destroy water to just get a little water supply going, a little constant thing so they don't drink that, and purifying any food that seemed iffy.
Wonderful. Yeah, that is such an important task that needs to happen for sure, because the water that you see in this lake next to you, while you can probably purify that, it is arguably at this point maybe safer to just make your own. Some of the water in this lake looks clear and wonderful. And as you start to look closer down towards the realm of Ahib, it gets more murky and brown and green, and only slightly, but even only slightly is more than it was last week, which was more than it was before then. And you've been here for a little bit, at least, watching the slow progression of the change. It doesn't look like a lot right this second, but it is significantly worse than when you got here. As you continue to make fresh water and purify food, you hear that there is a commotion, as there's a handful of new people, entities that are coming over the horizon, as the first thing that you see looking up is this small centaur just barreling through. As over the hill you see a couple of other centaurs and a man that is bright red hair pulled back. As Ben, you and the centaurs have shown up here. As you're surveying the scene, you can see that there's this small little camp here. Again, 3 or 4 pop-up tents. There's a couple of people moving around, a couple of the Alceids, and 1 hobgoblin. As you can see that there's this lake in front of you, and are now surveying the scene of what? You see all of these big golden walls around you. And you're here, at least in a settlement, in this little tent area. What are you up to?
Well, he's kind of looking around, counting the tents and thinking silently to himself he was hoping for an actual settlement. But he does look at the lake and kind of mutters, well, that don't look too great.
And Ember next to you, no, that's actually really bad. And he kind of looks over at your face. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This is a camp. The actual Southern Star is over a couple of hills that way. But we wanted to be closer to the lake for this one, so don't worry. There's other stuff over there. Anyway, I'm gonna go chase after him, and he heads off down the hill. As Grin, you see these couple of centaurs start heading into your camp, and this other guy, who's definitely not a centaur.
Well, careful over there. Come and be mindful. Lots of hurt folks around here. Try not to interact too much. If you're uncertain if they've been affected, I'm sure we have a space for you somewhere. I look to one of the Ilsidir.
Alciad.
Alciad. Yeah, my bad.
Nope, you're fine.
One of the Alciad near me. I'm sure we have space somewhere.
As they look over to you, we can set up another tent. Yes. I'll get right on that. And they move over and they start unpacking another tent. Because you have supplies here. They're just not all set up because you didn't necessarily need them right now. But everybody here in Infidor, if they live here, they have tents. They have places that they can pop up. They have shelters. They are always mobile. So yeah, the two Alcids start to set up a couple of other pop-up stops.
Ben starts to say something, then stops, then just kind of nods and says thanks. It is kind of odd, as much as he's probably been wandering, all of his clothing, like the long coat and everything, looks immaculate. Like there's not a scratch on anything. Other than like the scars on his face and stuff. That obviously happened some time ago. But all of like everything looks perfectly fixed up. Nothing's damaged. But he does kind of look around. You said afflicted. I take it the water.
Yes, some form of sickness in the water, and well, everywhere if you look around.
We talking like person to person contagious, or
would I know that, having been here for a while?
Person to person contagious. Yeah, you know, yeah, if you were to touch something and touch someone else, I mean, it depends. If you smear it on them, but not particularly, other than the stuff itself, right? But it's not like you are afflicted and now do not touch that thing. But what the affliction is being caused by is still a question, at least a little bit.
Okay. To be safe, I would veer on the side of caution rather than getting too involved around here. We're still trying to figure this out. I think I may have something to get a little more information, but right now I'm just helping people.
Right. Well, fair enough. And he kind of looks around for the centaurs. He was supposed to be helping them with whatever it is they need help with, but he's suspecting it might be, well, whatever it is that Grin needs help with.
Yeah, judging from the scene, that's the big issue that you definitely do see. And over the next couple of hours or so, as the two of you start to move around with the centaurs and start to look at the lake, there's a few more folks that start to show up into this, what was a small camp is now getting a little bit crowded as this thing shows up, similar to a centaur in some ways, but not in every way. Viren, what do you look like right now as you're approaching this little camp?
Varen is slowly waving as it walks up, and is trying to smile in a way that is very uncomfortable. And as it gets closer, he'll go, "Hello, it is Varen. Have you a room?"
You're kind of big. I'm sure we have. I may have a tent. Probably.
Do not worry. Varen will not eat you.
Oh, were you? Okay, I guess you weren't planning to eat me, but she mentioned it. So, do people assume that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna reach into the bag of holding and pull out a tent, a tent kit, which it's the only tent option available in 5e, which fits 2 people, 2 humanoids. Well, yes, Varen, we'll get you set up in a moment.
What? Why? Do you insult Varen?
How so?
What is this fabric for?
It's a tent.
That is not a tent. That is poor craftsmanship. Let Varen show you how one should sleep in a secure nest.
And will turn up one hand and bring up a third of a kind of a pyramid shape with one casting of mold earth, and then another hand to bring up another, and then not a third hand, but bringing another hand up. It's the one that comes from the chest, the hand that no one talks about. And that one has an opening in it. And Varen looks and goes,
"See, this is much easier. Why do you do things the hard way?"
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but that seems like not great for the earth. Sorry, the ground.
It is fine. It disturbs bugs, that is true. But it is fine. It will go back.
I'm going to take your word for that. I'm just going to put this back in the bag. What brings you here, Varen?
Varen is on a journey. From Brother Ox.
Brother Ox? And Gren looks at Ben.
Now, Gren, go ahead and make a history check for me.
With disadvantage.
Ben, no, actually, Gren, you could take just a standard history check for this one.
Oh, God.
Ben, sorry, you can try and roll if you'd like to, but
no, I'm not even gonna try. By the way, Ben is short. He's like 5'5". When Varen did the mold earth, Ben did kind of cock his head and raise an eyebrow, like, he's got a point.
Okay.
That's just a 7. It added guidance by accident.
Oh, I see. Brother Ox is a name that you have heard of before. He's an animal lord of Umbervale. And that's pretty much it. You've never met this guy, but he is part of, technically, the Sealy Corp, but he lives in Umbervale on the top of one of the mountains.
Gotcha.
What you all know, except maybe not Ben, is that every realm has 2 animal lords. one that is under the realm of the Sealy Court, and one that is under the Unsealy Court. Brother Ox is Undervale's Sealy Court Animal Lord. And so you recognize that name, at least as the weight behind it, but anything else is hit or miss. You've never met the guy.
Ah, yes. Brother Ox, of course. How could it slip my mind? I mean, it hasn't been working so long. Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Wait. Thank you. Yes.
And as Viren and Grin start to finish up this conversation, as the evening starts to show up and the light starts to fade towards darker twilight, we see two more figures heading over the hill, following the river, finding this camp as Marosha and Othi. How are you two doing?
So basically, Othi, when we were fighting this creature, so they put up one hand, and then they had another, and then seemingly a third hand came out. See, no one talks about the third hand.
They had a third hand?
I was just as surprised as you hearing it now. So no one really talks about it, and then it came out of nowhere, and it just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult when you have to worry about a third hand. So basically what we did was we just cut it off. So
well,
I mean, that's how
seems the sensible thing to do, yeah.
I mean, especially, if he has one person by the throat and the other one, and then there's a third hand, like it's a little bit unfair, to be honest.
What did you say it was? What kind of beast was this?
Sorry, I'm a trifle bit deaf in this area. You'll have to speak a little bit louder next time. And he kind of just grazes by the subject.
I think Othi probably, having been used to this tactic a bit, just sort of rolls her eyes and keeps walking with a laugh. Oh, I am hungry. I hope we get to this place soon.
Oh, definitely. My throat is extremely dry. It's getting quite dark. Are we close to where we need to be?
And as you ask that question, you reach over the next hill, and down below you see this camp. You see the river ends with this lake, and you can see, just like you've passed through to get into the realm of Ninfandor, the other walls with the other realms. Down below you see now a handful of tents and one large piece of rock that is emerging out of the ground that some would call a tent. As there's still movement happening, there's still a wake down there. It's relatively early night time, if you can call it that here. As there's a little settlement, there's a little camp down there. It looks like you see a small fire. It looks like they've got some food cooking. And there's a few people moving around. Some people are cooking food. Some people are looking at the water. There's moving down there for sure.
Marosha looks at Othi and goes, "Time to make friends."
I like friends.
Awesome. And awesome. That's just normal what you say in the fantasy world. And I guess we just kind of just unassumingly like show up to the camp like, "Hey, we're the party. What's up?" We're not dangerous. We're here to vibe. Hey.
Oh. Be careful on the way in.
Yeah. Who was that? Hello?
Hi there. I'm
Red
Othi.
operates.
Yeah. I'm Othi. This is my friend Marosha.
Hello.
We've been traveling from Maehea, so it's been quite a journey. We're pretty hungry. Is there like a tavern or something similar around here?
The Denny's.
There are many things one could eat here.
Oh, hey, hello. Marosha leans over to Othi and he goes, "And
you look just, pardon for staring, but you just look incredible. I've never met anyone like you.
Varen appreciates this.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Varen is from the Grove of Hungers, but is acting on behalf of Brother Ox.
That sounds like a very well, to be honest, that sounds like a very depressing place, but you seem really, really cool.
I don't know if we should insult the third hand.
I'm pretty sure you made that up, Marosha.
What? No, I saw it. It was 3 hands. It just came from... Okay, that's fine. Sorry.
Anyways, yeah, so we're from Maihea, and I'd never really been anywhere but there, so all of this is very new to me. So again, I apologize for staring, but you seem really cool. And yeah, we were looking for a tavern, or yeah, Denny's was the name of a tavern in Maihea. I don't think they've probably franchised out this far, but you know, maybe they have something like that. Can you help us out?
Varen has no food.
Oh, okay.
Well, you should join us then. We'll go find a tavern together.
This is
turns to
amiable.
grid. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's very awkward silence. You said your name was Grin again? Was that correct?
Yes, my name is Grun. And you?
I'm Marosha, and of course this is my friend Othi. Do you have anything that you could spare? Water, ale, any types of food? I mean, we're more than welcome to help if needed. You know, in payment. I think I have a few gold as well that I could probably spare as well.
Yeah, I've got some coin too.
I'm sure there's something we can spare around here. Probably not much. We are in a sort of a dire situation here, but you're welcome to join us by the fire, get a little grub, and find your way about.
Dire situation. What's going on?
Well, I'm sure you've heard the rumors about what's coming out of Ehib. Well, here seems to be a rather bad area. If you can look out at the water, and Gren will cast light. You can see right inside that things have not been going well.
Yeah, that doesn't look great. Oh, gee, I don't know anything about helping out with the water. As the player frantically checks Othi's spell list to see what she can do.
Yeah, no, that's not normal. Is this recent? Has this been happening over time, or?
I've been here for about a week, and it's only gotten progressively worse. We are treating many people here. If you look around at some of the tents, we're doing our best to treat anyone who has been in contact with this, and we're trying to figure it out.
You said treat. Is this contagious? Are there precautions that we should take other than touching the water?
Do not interact. Well, it's I believe it's not just in the water. Am I right, DM?
Yeah, so here it's definitely into the water, but you've heard rumors that it is encroaching on different places. So places that don't necessarily have water, that doesn't mean they don't have corruption or things happening there as well. But just right here, it's definitely in this water.
Got you. For here, definitely stay out of the water. You're not likely to get it if you're in contact with one of the afflicted. But I would still just say keep a distance, and generally, sort of a social distance, if I may say. Keep
6 feet. I understand. Yeah.
Yes, something like 6 feet seems fine.
Yeah.
But keep away from them and keep away from the water, and you should be fine. We've not had any afflictions due to direct contact between people, but you never know.
I do have some experience with helping with disease and that sort of thing. I'd be happy to give it a try. See if I can help some of these folks.
That would be wonderful.
And Othi will... are there, like, sick people just, like, right there where we're talking?
Yeah, in one of the other tents, there's a handful of people that are in a couple of cots. There's 2 or 3 different satyrs that are in there, at least that have been being tended to. There is... Who else is in there? There looks to be a goblin that's in there. But right now it's just those 4.
Okay.
Looks like there were some empty cots, but right now it's just those.
Yeah, Othi will look for someone who looks like they're maybe a little bit worse off. Someone who might need like attention more urgently.
One of the satyrs is not looking particularly great. They have this big like cloth on their head, and they just looking at them, they are not having a good go of it right now. They're shivering in their sleep, and everyone else is okay, but that one is having a rough night.
Yeah, she'll kind of kneel down, sort of with a little bit of a clank as she puts a knee down on the ground next to the cot. Hi, I'm Othi, and I understand that you need some medical help here, yeah?
And they just like look at you, and they don't say anything, but just you can tell the answer is yes.
All right, I'm just going to put my hand here on your arm. Let me know if that hurts. And she'll just gently put her hand on his arm.
It looks like he tries to like put his hand near yours, but he doesn't quite get there.
Okay. And then Othi's going to do lay on hands, spending 5 points to either cure a disease or neutralize a poison. I'm assuming it's more of a disease rather than that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that.
Okay.
I don't think there's a roll on my sheet, so...
Yeah, and as you do, it does something for sure. It doesn't completely fix entirely. He doesn't go back to 100% perfect, but he does calm down a lot. And the shivering subsides. You can see that color starts to come back. So it is beneficial, at least in some way.
Awesome. Let's see. I've got 40 in total, and it takes 5 per each. I cannot do mental math at the moment, so 8 people.
Okay.
So she's going to go do that for 7 more people.
Okay, awesome. Then there's plenty. You can give one to everybody that's in this tent and anybody else who needs it.
Awesome.
And yeah, what else?
I think Varen did not realize that there were people who needed healing. Conveniently, no one mentioned it to him. So was just kind of chilling. And he'll walk up behind Othi and go,
Oh, are we being helpful?
I'm trying, yeah.
Wonderful. Varen shall assist.
and will stand up as tall as it can in this whatever height room, and will start to laugh and go,
Who will receive the blessings of the keeper of the hungry grove?
And there will be coming out in like a what is this? A 30-foot radius around me is just the smell of like not manure, but like fresh, fertile undergrowth and like the slight little bit of flowers. And there is this healing, cleansing presence coming off of him while still towering in the middle of the room and trying to smile.
Ooh, that's a dramatic presentation. I like it. It smells like home too, like freshly tilled soil.
Othi,
Yeah?
He's like Marosh is behind, like
What?
I would say about 10 feet. Oh,
What's
shit.
up?
You did it.
Cut it out. They seem
Okay,
nice.
Yeah, no, it was a compliment. I'm sorry.
Liana, as you are traveling through the dark parts of Ninfandor, you see off to over that hillside is this bright flash of light. something that you haven't seen here, at least. Something's over there.
That's
And you know
interesting.
you're down in the southern part, roughly where your next task might be.
I'll go check it out. I'm good in the dark, so I'll
Yeah.
go and check out what that flash was.
And as you approach, you can see that there's a few people that are walking away from the lake as they look like they have just shined a light over this area. And you watch them for a few minutes as they come back into the tents, and you can see that there's a couple more flashes of magical energy that's happening from inside of one of these tents as you hear muffled voices and louder voices, and you can see that all of what's just been happening is happening in front of you. That camp is down below.
It's always safer to stay in a camp. So I'll make my way down, and I'll keep an eye out for somebody who I think might be in charge.
And as you approach, you see that there are a few of these deer-like entities, these Elsiads, that are out there. And one of them looks over at you. They seem to be on alert a little bit, keeping an eye on what's going on in the camp, and noticing that you are on your way. They start to approach you. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. It is late. Are you here for us, or what brings you out?
I'm in the area for the lake and what is going on at the lake, but I noticed your camp, and I was hoping perhaps I could stay. I have my own gear. I can stand watch if needed.
Oh, well, I mean, especially in that case, we are... It seems like just taking in anyone right now. So the more the merrier. Sounds like you're here for kind of the same reason. Make yourself comfortable. We have food and water if you need it. And I'll be around. The name's Jessamine. And they walk away, leaving you to set up your stuff if you want to.
Yeah, I'll set up my stuff and I'll sit and people watch.
Okay. And the rest of you, are you trying to be stealthy about that, or are you trying to not make a scene?
I'm not making a scene, but I'm just kind of sitting out with, just kind of in the area, people watching. If I see Gren, do I recognize his sigils or anything like that? Or is there anything there I recognize with my history and my occupation?
Let's find out. That's a really good question. Let me open up this really quick.
Since you have so many nice sigils on the front of your cloak.
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and make a history intelligence check for me.
History. Oof, I am not proficient in history. 13.
13. There could be some relation to some sigils that you might know, but these are, if there are anything, they're older than recent, at least. So nothing's necessarily popping out like this is exactly what. But like they're familiar, but they're not, explicitly a thing that you have dealt with.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll sit and people watch.
Okay, awesome. And the only one who does notice, as Viren, you are currently inside busy, is Gren. As Gren, you do notice that there is a new addition to the camp. And we'll come back to that after we go on a break. Because now it's that time. It's that time to do that, finally.
Awesome. So yeah, everybody go grab snacks, drinks, whatever you need to, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. And we'll see you then. And there we go. We're back.
Excellent. Welcome back, everybody. We have just gathered our group here at a medical camp down closer to the Southern Star in the realm of Nymphindor. As the 6 of you are now at a portable camp. There's several tents, one made of stone, and several other entities here. We have a handful of Alceids, we have a couple of satyrs, we have a goblin, we have a hobgoblin, a human male, we have an elf, we have Varen, we a half-orc, and also we have Othi, who is our halfling. We got a little hodgepodge of a lot of stuff happening here right now. It is nighttime. Ileana, you've just set up your tent and started getting your stuff out. Food is out. Drinks are being had, at least by some people. You have a lake that is full of contamination right over there. But it's night. And the 6 of you are here at this camp. What would you like to do now?
Picking up where we left off at break, if Gren spots Ileana new to camp, he'll make his way over. Gren's been here for, well, I said a week, but maybe more than a week, and is sort of like, he's creating water, he's purifying food, he's doing a lot of things. He's got his hand in like every pot here, and I think he's just sort of unanimously become like the welcome party. So approaches, yeah, hello. Sorry, welcome to the camp. Do you need a tent?
I have my own gear, but thank you. You look to be dressed quite well for a camp like this.
I mean, gotta go with style, don't you?
Definitely turn heads. Are you in charge here?
Oh, nobody's really in charge. We're all working together towards a common goal. So it's more like a republic? Is that the thing? Is that still the thing? Anyway.
I think I get what you're going for. Are you from the area then?
Me? Oh. Well, right now I am. I'm obviously a hobgoblin. I come from quite a ways away.
Well, I appreciate your welcome. I'm happy to help in any way I can. I can cook a decent enough meal, and I can stand watch at least if that's required.
I will keep that in mind. We are, we have resources, but I don't know, perhaps soon we'll need to go out and perhaps hunt food. Don't think we can really fish.
Yes, that would be quite an issue, wouldn't it? I could probably hunt. I'm quiet enough on my feet.
Oh, I believe it. I believe I'm picking up what you're putting down. That'll be very useful to have around. Well, I won't take up too much of your time. Welcome to the camp. And general guidelines. Don't go in the water, don't interface with the water. We don't want you to get hurt in any way. And actually, we have sick people here. Don't interact with them too much, although we do have a healer of sorts here now. Otherwise, you should be good to go and stay the night, and whatever your business is, continue on.
Understood. I think I may take a walk around the perimeter for a moment, just see what the space is like, what the land looks like around here. But I'll be around if you need me.
I appreciate that. And Gren will walk away.
I think I'll get up as well, and I'll walk towards kind of the perimeter of the camp, just outside of any firelight that there is. And I'll look around for a few moments, and then I'll hold out my hand. And a Luna moth kind of flutters down into it. I'll sit there and I'll whisper to it for a moment, let it back up into the air, and then I'll go back into the camp.
And as you head off outside of the campfire light and you just look up at the sky of Ninfandor, you can see that there are swirling patterns of stars and constellations and their own nebulae that are always above you. And this isn't a sight you see all the time. You're not always here in Ninfandor. You've been here before, but this doesn't happen in all of the other realms. This one is specific to here. As your moth flies off, and you head back to camp.
If I may. By this time, everybody's kind of got comfortable. Marosha has luckily found small amount of spirits, and so a couple swigs. And being that in his backstory, he's technically an orphan, he definitely has, like, he enjoys children. Like, I mean, just the innocence of them, their playfulness, that's something that he was never able to kind of experience. So cultivating that is like, it's huge for him. So he's kind of set up like a little like fire there, and there's like kids kind of just like sitting there just starry-eyed, and he's sitting there and he goes, so there I was, completely unassuming. I'm walking through a cave by myself. I mean, my friend Othi was there, but she was preoccupied with something else that was important. And out of the side corner in this cave, dark, deep, dank, I just hear this low barreling growl. And he kind of like trudges around what, like one of the tents to where it's like kind of casting a shadow, and he goes, and from underneath the tone and the stone and the dark, dank area comes this 10-foot owl bear.
Oh.
And he kind of goes, ah, but it was okay. I had my trusty trident Bertha with me, but in this, she needed her rest. So I put her on my back and I put on my gloves, and he puts on these fingerless leather gloves. It looks like they've seen some battle, and he goes, and I grapple the beast, and as we tussle and turn, and we go deep into the cave, cuts with stone, dank water, I reach deep into the gullet of the beast through his mouth, and I pull out a rabbit.
What? and you see Little Mess's mind just like, wait, whoa, how did that?
Well, of course, owl bears get hungry.
Was that alive?
Well, unfortunately, little one,
Oh.
it was not. But, as is the circle, you know, things need to eat, things need to be eaten. It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in this case, Marosha was the one who was hungry, and I grabbed the bunny and I shoved it in the face of the owl bear, and I just put him underground, and then, well, he took a very long nap after. Long story short, I won, and then I got this really cool hat, and he puts on a hat of an owl bear with the ears.
Ah! And the Little Mess starts like just applauding for your owl bear hat. Do you think I could get one?
You know what? You can have this one.
Whoa. And he puts it on, just like way too big for his head. Covers
You'll
up,
grow into it.
goes right past his eyes. Whoa. It's kind of stinky, but
Yeah.
like bounces around back and forth like a big helmet.
He reaches into and like where he's set up his little area, and he pulls out a javelin, and he goes, here, don't run too fast with this, but learn how to throw it. It'll be important. You'll catch your own rabbit. And he kind of walks away.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Okay, and you just see Little Mess just takes off. As you hear Ember like, again. As he stands up and heads off.
so while that was happening, Othi has her shield set up as a step stool, just sort of like at the edge of the fire, and is essentially just using it as a chair. So she's just sitting like on the top step, and scribbling in a leather-bound journal. And occasionally during Marosha's story, there's a but for the most part, she's just really enjoying the story and watching Little Mess get excited about it.
Yeah, you know, it's you have to keep the imagination going as long as you can. Of course, he'll know, or they'll know after a while, that the world is full of its worries, it's horrific times. But right now, with everything going on, honestly, it should be the last thing they're thinking about. So, I mean, of course, I didn't really pull out a rabbit out of the owl bear. Of course, I just snapped its neck and then just shoved it into the ground. But semantics.
No complaints from me. I just thought it was funny. And she goes back to scribbling, but like glancing up over the edge of her notebook every so often with a smirk.
Next time we'll tell him about the time you slid down that hill on your shield. Now that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Kind of just enjoys the rest of his evening. Rolls a cigar, kind of hangs out.
I think I got about as fast as a horse's gallop with that one time.
Faster than a horse's gallop. Of course. Little bit of imagination.
Oh, right. Yes. Much faster.
And what's Ben up to right now?
I was actually gonna say Ben was actually kind of watching delightedly as Little Miss got all excited over the story. He is at a nearby campfire. If he's been able to gather any ingredients that anybody has around, he has been cooking. He actually is very good at cooking. Words. Does have cook's utensils and expertise. And he's been getting kind of sick of just like rations and stuff mixed nuts and stuff like that. That'll tide you over while you're traveling. Been a while since he's been able to sit down and cook a meal, and he figures, if he has enough to make extras for people in the camp, he will. So he's kind of cooking, listening, also doing some people watching. Did kind of have a look to enjoy the story, and then heard about the neck snapping, and didn't necessarily look disapproving as in, oh, how terrible, but oh, well, that's a little less exciting, a little less interesting.
Ben, that actually smells absolutely amazing. What do you have there?
Oh, what would he have been able to, what would they have had around?
So, you actually, before you started cooking, asked around and saw, hey, what do we have? And you were surprised to see that there's actually a lot of different options here. Where you're at a camp, but you're still close to the settlement. The Southern Star is right here, and you're also pretty close to a few of Morris's farms. So there are some packages here with inscribed a big letter M with a circle around it. And there is fruits, there's vegetables, there are tubers, there's really just so many different options. A lot of apples. There's a few casks of, they've got a big symbol of an apple on it. There's some apple, Morris's concoction of the apple moonshine that exists here now. As well as, really any, there's so many different crops here. There's sunflower seeds, there's a lot of potatoes, there's a lot of different grains. There's some different types of mushrooms as well, different types of fruits and vegetables. They got a good amount of stuff here, surprisingly enough.
Oh, that's perfect. Ben loves some comfort food. So it looks like some almost kind of like loaded mashed potatoes with like seasoning in them and stuff. Some apple cobbler, and some vegetable stew with some of the mushrooms thrown in. And there's a fair bit of it. I mean, he has his own utensils, and if anybody else has had any more, he can gather around a fire. It looks like he knows how to handle several pots at once. So, and he kind of looks over at Roche and says, It was Marosha that asked, wasn't it? Okay, yeah, like I said, words, brain, it's getting to be that time of night. Yeah, mashed potatoes, cobbler, some stew. I mean, there's plenty, so if you want some, should be done here pretty soon.
Absolutely. That I might have to dig into that cobbler first. It's been quite some time since I had any form of dessert that wasn't a stale muffin grain or something. But no, absolutely. I do have a question. Your arm, if I may, has it always been like that? Of course, the one with the beautiful tattoos, that's amazing, but I'm speaking on the metal one or shiny one. Is it metal?
Well, I mean, yeah, yes, it is metal. No, it hasn't always been that way.
Again, if I may, and I do apologize. How strong is that? Of course, he's, they're having a good time. How strong is that arm?
Well, as strong as the other one.
Really? We might have to test that later. Fancy a wager?
Oh, and he kind of smirks a little bit and says, maybe.
Okay. Well, I won't interrupt your culinary delights, but when you are ready, I have a goal that says this old oak arm can best yours.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see later. But
Beautiful.
After some food, like you said about the cobbler, you eat it while it's hot.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Cheers. He walks away and he goes, kids, did I tell you about the time that I saw a dragon?
And as you go off into this new story with all of its twists and turns, Viren, what have you been up to this evening?
Varen has spent as long as was needed in the infirmary and just, healing those that would allow the blessing of the Swamp of Hungers, the Grove of Hungers. And afterwards, just standing and listening to a few conversations, make their way back out. And I think it would be like drawn by the food as well. But I think it would walk up behind Ben and just dip a finger into the taters and turn and look at Ben real quick and go,
It is boring. Why do you cook boring?
And first of all, Ben freezes when he sees the arm reach over him. And he kind of slowly reaches toward his waist and then stops when he hears Varen because he heard him earlier. And he turns around and he looks insulted, but kind of stops himself a little bit. I mean, it's seasoned. I don't have any bacon. I put bacon in it, but there's not any here that I'm aware of.
Let Varen help.
Hold on just a second. He immediately puts his hand up, one hand up and one hand over the pot. Help how?
Varen will give you ingredients.
What ingredients?
Good ingredients.
Can you name these ingredients specifically?
They are good peppers.
Peppers.
Yes. Peppers.
How about I put some of the mashed potatoes in another pot and we can put the peppers in those, and that way people who want mashed potatoes with the peppers can have them, and people who want the boring mashed potatoes can have those. And then, people can have what they want.
Yes, we should let people make their own bad choices. Varen agrees. Here.
And Varen just in his hand now has 10 dark blue, like twisted peppers.
They are good.
Ben actually does look legitimately intrigued by these. And he kind of arches a brow. So how hot are they?
Very.
Very. How hot's very? Like you feel like you're breathing fire? Very.
Varen does not know breathing fire.
Oh, that's kind of a shame. I mean, it's kind of fun. But yeah, you
Does anyone want boring food? Varen has offered good, exciting food. Varen has been useful.
Absolutely
Yes.
not. I don't want anything boring.
Exciting food?
I'll try the exciting stuff.
I love
Ben
new
is-
flavors.
while Varen is shouting this out to the camp, he's very hurriedly moving some of the mashed potatoes to another container. He's keeping the majority of them away from Varen, because he has the feeling that when Varen says they're hot, it feels like somebody's hit your tongue with a ball peen hammer or something. And most of the people in this camp are not gonna like that.
Oh, that's just gonna make it real spicy. Highly concentrated.
Ben likes real spicy food, but to the degree where most people would say, no thanks, this is pain and my life is suffering now.
As we continue to make up our food and add some peppers to some, make it more exciting.
To
Yeah.
pep up the mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I think that's where that's where it come from, right? That's cool. Anyway, as we wrap up our dinner and go into the night, where are we sleeping? What's our arrangement of nighttime? Yeah, we have a few tents that are available. You might have brought your own or made your own. Is anyone not in a tent? What are we doing at night?
Othi's not in a tent. She's just under the stars.
Same. Pretty somewhat close to Othi as well, being like that's my connection to this group. Marisha's kind of doing the same thing. He's got his cloak kind of over because the night is pretty cold, and under the cloak he has Bertha just across his chest, just in case.
All right, excellent. Anybody else outside?
I'll be in a
No. Gren is not outside, but if he sees Marosha and Othi just laying out on the ground, he will swing by and be like, did you guys want a tent?
Sorry, Grin. Too much of the Apple stuff. I'm personally fine. I appreciate it. The night air, it's better for my lungs. And he's gonna kind of roll over.
No, I think I'm good. It's nice to be out in that fresh air, especially getting all that plate off. So I've got my bedroll here, and I think I'm okay. If it rains or something, I'll just lay under my shield.
All right, if you're both absolutely certain, I have 5 two-person tents. You feel free anytime, hit me up,
Yes, sir. That's very helpful. Thank you. We're fine. And,
That was
Right
very
over there.
thoughtful and mindful. I appreciate that very much. Maybe another mug of that apple stuff.
yes. Please.
Two mugs.
Right. Gren ignores that and goes to his tent.
When do you think he'll be back with those mugs?
Hopefully soon. If not, I'll stab him.
That seems like an extreme reaction, Marosha.
Yeah, I know. You and I said we have to book a session. We'll talk, but please, not right now.
Yeah, we'll talk later. Good night.
Good night.
I'll help with this shift of watch, like I said I would, if needed. But the rest of the night I spend in my tent.
Okay.
Ben does stay out for a little while. The one thing he has been enjoying about Ninfandor is the sky. But after a while, he does take up the offer of a tent. He is exhausted.
Fair enough.
Wow. Gren finally gets to give someone a tent.
Yes! I knew these come in handy.
Reaches into the bag of holding excitedly, just like, yes, absolutely.
Finally!
Actually, as Gren pulls a tent out for Ben, it is in pristine condition.
I was going to say, if he
best.
didn't, Ben knows mending, so.
By the way, these aren't normal tents. These are the expensive variant of tents. So this is a really nice 2-person tent that is in pristine condition.
It's got cup holders and everything.
Marosha looks over his shoulder. He sees the tent like putting up for Ben, and he goes, "Shit, should have got that."
Ben kind of nods and says, "Thank you for this 1-person tent." As he glances over to Marosha, again, there's that little kind of smirk.
I'm going to remember this. Maybe.
Baron, what are you up to?
Having already done the show of power and built the dramatic pyramid, Varen is aware that is not actually very comfortable to sleep. So he takes a second and he kind of rounds it out more and puts a ridge down the center so his horns don't just scrape against the ceiling, because that's just, your neck's gonna hurt so bad the next morning. And just sits down and pulls out a little stone from his bag that's burning medium kind of dark green, and puts it on the ground. And it appears to be a magical flame, as that it doesn't burn, it's not producing any smoke, but he just sits behind it and kind of crouches into himself and slowly closes his eyes for the night.
All right. As we take a rest, and Eliana, as you sit and take part of the watch, there is just the sky of Ninfandor, as it is beautiful out here. Way different than where you've just been, but also the same at the same time. You're in these realms, and they are separate, different, but also one. And you know that. As you finally go to bed yourself, and all of you sleep and rest. What time do we wake up?
Oh, very, very early.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the better question is, who wakes up first?
Varen is crepuscular.
What?
Varen needs to give me a definition for that word.
Yeah. Language of origin, please.
Etymology, go!
We're all learning words tonight. Is most active at dawn and dusk. Like a deer do.
Oh, I'll fit right in.
Like a deer do.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Great word. One of my favorite. Crepuscular.
I understood that reference.
So Varen is awake early. Othi seems to be awake early.
Yeah, she wakes up about the time that, you can, just before you can start to see the sun over the horizon. So it's light, but there's no sun in the sky, essentially. Mm-hmm. And immediately just starts putting together a cook fire, and from her kit, putting together a thing for coffee or tea, for whatever anybody wants.
Excellent. Anybody else awake in the wee early hours?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gren
Gren.
Gren's up early. He doesn't make an appearance for a little while because pretty much anytime he wakes up, he immediately it's not like a dream journal. It's like, wow, it's a stack of parchments that he has in his tent, but every time he wakes up, he grabs a piece of parchment and then immediately scribbles whatever he dreamed last night with charcoal. Could have got paint or supplies. So he scribbles whatever he saw last night, whatever he dreamed of, and most of the time it's just a hobgoblin in a cave standing still. And then about 30 minutes later, he'll make an appearance and start going about his day.
Okay. And Ileana?
I think I'm up with the light as well in the morning. Usually I sleep pretty light, but yesterday was a very long day. Got a lot done, did a lot of stuff, so I slept pretty heavy. Probably have like a crease down the side of my face from the pillow as I crawl out of my tent. I will go where the smell of food is coming from.
There's already a fire being set up, and Marosha and Ben, are you still asleep right now?
Ben was very tired and ate a bunch of comfort food. He slept in.
Fair enough. As the early dawn breaks, as a few of you are awake and a few of you are trying to take it easy, you all hear, before you see anything else, a hollow, ear-trembling howl, a gurgling sound from the sky above you. And if you were asleep, you are no longer, as this guttural screeching noise moves and just encompasses the air around you. As you all, those of you who are outside, look up. Ileana, you're the first to see this thing. As from the barrier of the realm of Ehib flies out a leather-winged, skinny, and fearsome dragon-like entity that you do recognize as a Jabberwock. Flies out of the realm of Ehib, and with your perception, you can see that there is indeed a rider on this entity as it flies and makes a circle around the top of the lake, and it goes up into the air and it comes back down, seeing your camp as it screams again, and you can hear a laughter coming from the entity that's on top of this creature. And that's what we're going to pick up next time.
I love that.
That's beautiful. I kind of imagine Marosha's still asleep, and then he hears that and he goes, "Othi, please, just it's."
I'm sure Othi is like run over to Roche, like slapping his arm, like, "It's a dragon!
It's another dragon! It's a dragon! Please, I have few pleasures in life, and I had too much of one last night. Just give me a moment."
I love that. That was fantastic. We're gonna go on
so much fun.
We're gonna go on a raid here very soon. But before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was and where we can find them next, and anything they'd like to share or plug. And we'll go reverse order from how we did intros. We'll start with Andy.
Wow! Hi! Hey, I'm Andy, Martinez Streams, Martinez Tweets. My favorite part was the entire goddamn thing. Especially all of the role play. Honestly, my favorite part was the part that I did no part of at all. Listening to the stories that Marosha was telling to Othi, and poof. I'm glad I said this during break, I'm glad I was muted for a couple of these different scenes, because I literally laughed out loudly, up like a handful of times. It was very, very good. yeah, the role play for today was awesome from everybody. It was incredible. These were really cool characters to get to play around with. I'm excited to see where we go next. Honestly, stoked. As far as other things to share or plug, hey, we do this on Tuesdays now. On Saturdays, if you want to see me as a player, I'll be playing in an Urban Shadows game. We've been going for the past couple of weeks. In fact, Raven was one of our guest players the other week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And that is over on Weave the Tale. I play a grumpy old swamp veteran named Max Wales, and he's out there building stuff and kicking ass when he has to, but only when he has to, because he doesn't want to do it because he's tired. So go check that out. That's going to be on Saturdays. On Mondays, we hang out on my channel and we do some painting. Yesterday, hey, spoilers! Yesterday I was painting this guy. There's a lot of little figurines that I have that need to be painted for no reason other than I have things. But yeah, that's some other stuff. If you want to see those things and follow me along, it's on Twitter, Martinez Tweets. Besides that, hey, that's all for me.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely go check out Somehow Human. It's a really good show. It was a lot of fun to guest on there. And I saw those tweets with those miniatures, and that's like, unrelated to tomorrow's game. Like, excuse me, what?
Unrelated. That was very clear. It's unrelated to tomorrow's game. We didn't see these guys today at all. So
today, yes, I'm excited for whatever that is. Next, we've got Zan. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, I mean, like Andy said, it's really hard to pick a single moment. This was fantastic from right out the gate. I guess I was really a fan of seeing how Marosha and Othi, like from the word go, there was just immediate character rapport build. It was wonderful to watch. Yeah. And I'm Zan. I am a game dev, homebrew writer, and your resident therapeutic GM. You can find me here at this time, or not too many other places right at this moment. You can catch me over at PAX, where I'll be doing some panels, so never too early to start hyping that. And I don't know if anyone else has heard of the Audioverse Awards, but if y'all have, definitely go vote in the stuff that's open right now, and definitely listen to an episode of The Gorgon Show where the Ozark Howler, aka Gregory, is interviewed, and then you should vote for that for best improv. Not for any particular reason, but come on. I'm great. If you enjoyed my improv here, you'll enjoy my improv there. I'm lovely, and slightly less creepy, but I do still talk about eating people, and that's gonna be it from me.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to M. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
Oh gosh, favorite part. Yeah, I'm gonna ditto the everything. Also, just the absolute glee of the second small centaur running wild, my heart filled with joy. It's the little mess. And just the centaurs in general. Also, everybody's characters, the interaction we got to have, and the play with Othi and Marosha. I was like, oh, this is like wholesome, but also with and then we fucked some things up. Which was amazing. Love Baron. Loved starting with Ileana on a heist. That was awesome. I love Grin having to manage this whole thing and still managing it. I'm excited to start next time, given where we left off. You can find me here again next week. And you can find me at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I am a digital artist and I complain a lot. But yeah, excited to be here next Tuesday.
Awesome. Next, Par. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you'd like to share or plug?
I will boldly go against choosing everything as my favorite part. I will narrow it down to I loved all the intros. Definitely a highlight for me. As I put in chat, I was literally just sitting here like, I kind of lost that I was also a part of this. I was sitting there watching the intros, and then it got to Marosha and Othi, and I was like, and who's next? Oh. I literally thought Andy was going to start speaking to me, and I was just going to be like, But you can find me next week with this wonderful cast. I'm so excited to tell this story. This season, it already feels great. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fantastic. You can also find me on Twitter at Par Professional. I promise to start tweeting there more. You can find me on Twitch at Mr. Par, whenever I remember to stream or manage to actually stream. And I think that's about me wrapped.
All right. Next, let's hop over to Ian. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you'd like to share or plug?
Oh, man. So RP is my favorite part of this game in general, if it's not noticeable. So like being able to do that with everybody and kind of just, start, getting the vibe and, kind of get in there is so much fun. I would have to say Varen, and just the way that he speaks to people just sets me over. And same like Par, like during the intros, I got lost. Like I was like, I'm watching a movie, I'm having a great time, and then here comes my part, and I go, oh, I have to turn it on now. So that says so much for everybody. It says so much to you, and as a DM too, it's so much fun. Like it's just ridiculous, and I'm still kind of fairly new to this space, so to be able to do it with you all on the level that you guys are at, it's 1,000%. Like just it makes my week. So I mean, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you can just follow me on Twitter. I'm extremely more active on there now because I kind of hotspot in streams. So if you want to know what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter. You can see where I'm at. You can see some amazing other people as well. Of course, I'll be here Tuesdays with this lovely cast. Wednesdays, I'll be over at Magic RPG playing the Icewind Dale campaign as I play the Tiefling Bard Kamara. And as he slowly speaks through all of his adventures and hopefully persuades his way without having to adorn his rapier. It should be fun. It should be a sexy time for everyone involved. So that's going to be awesome too. And then if you keep following my Twitter towards the beginning of the year, that's when I'm going to jump into the DM streaming role with my first like miniseries campaign. It's a vampire masquerade kind of spin-off. It's going to be called Island by Night, to where we take some like traditional Polynesian characters and deities and we form it into where we are certain creatures. And it's going to be so much fun. So just keep it up there, man. So that's me.
Awesome. Next, we've got Anna. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you'd like to share or plug?
Yeah. Favorite part. I hate narrowing it down. I'm just gonna say Marosha's stories. I enjoyed them. It was great.
Please stop, you guys. My head's already big. It doesn't need to get any bigger.
I was gonna say that's 4. That's 4.
Please, I'm just having a good time.
But yeah, so I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun. You can find me streaming a lot of places. I'm not going to go into all of them tonight because we'll be here all night. But on Monday nights, you can find me over on Weave the Tale, playing our brand new D&D campaign, which just started last night. Playing a Twilight Cleric of Luru over there, who is pretty hyperactive. Zan was trying to convince them to give me coffee. Would not have gone over well. But yeah, we're going to be playing 2 different parties in that campaign, looking at the 2 different sides of the conflict, so it should be pretty interesting. Every other Saturday, you can find me over on Daxara's channel with Dragon Riders of Aome, our quest actual play. I play a very reckless, hard-headed fighter over there with my dragon, who probably encourages me too much in my reckless behavior. But yeah, it's a really great series. Young dragon riders, we're going down to the surface of the world for the first time to figure out the strange things that are happening. Keep an eye out as well on Thorny Dryad's channel. We have a mass campaign every month. Next month it's going to be on November 20th with an amazing cast and really great story. It's monthly. It's very easy to keep up with. Play a protege with far too much responsibility on her shoulders. And also every third Thursday, you can find me on Ballad of the Seven Dice, playing The Timeless Journey, a Ryutama actual play. I play a young merchant just trying to find her place in the world, very Kiki's Delivery Service style. And then, of course, if sci-fi or podcast are more your thing, you can find me on Response Team Omnicron. I'll answer actual play podcasts following a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines of a brewing conflict. We have sci-fi feels, narrative first, giant mech combat, roleplay focused characters. We've been described by fans as if Battlestar Galactica had its own red versus blue. So come and see what all the talk is about. You can find us anywhere you normally get your podcast and on Twitter at RT Omnicron.
That sounds amazing. All right, I guess that just leaves me, my favorite part. I think I'm also going to have to go with the intros. Everybody got such a really cool, awesome introduction that, yeah, for a minute there was like, oh, wait a minute, I have to do this too. As it started getting closer to our turn, I was so sucked into everybody's little stories as we went along. So I did really enjoy that. Everybody's was fantastic. I also really enjoyed the Marosha stories. That was really fun, and just getting to add Othi's little like side commentary in there. That camaraderie between the two of them was so much fun to play out. So those are definitely my favorite parts. I am super excited for next week. I went into this going, kind of thinking to myself, oh, that first season was so good. I hope we can keep up that level of just fun and excitement, and tell a really good story. And then we do episode 1 of this season, and we just I feel like we just blew that out of the water already. So I'm super stoked for this. Let's see where you can find me next. Today is Tuesday, so Saturday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time for Animus Absentis. We are wrapping up the current arc, and we're going to be doing a lot of really cool callback things, and just wrapping up a lot of plot stuff over the next few sessions. So this last one we went back to the Federation of Independent Systems, which is an area that the Animus Violentis show went to quite a bit. So we're having some really fun callbacks over there, so definitely go check that out, especially if you've been keeping up with the story. And then that's it for streams until next Tuesday. You can find me over on Start Playing Games. That's startplaying.games. You can look me up there. I'm doing a number of private games. I'm doing... Oh, hey! Thanks for the raid, Saito. Oddly enough, I was just getting ready to raid you, so we'll pick somebody else. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, you can find me Saturday for the next stream game, and then Tuesday. And then, as I mentioned, I'm over on Start Playing Games for private games. I'm running a Star Trek game looks like tomorrow night. There are still some spots for that if you want to sign up for it. It's going to be really fun. It's a next generation era mission. We're going to be doing some stuff by the neutral zone. It should be a really fun time. And then Thursday, I'm running a D&D sort of horror Halloween one-shot that's a bit surreal. It is set in your typical high fantasy realm of D&D, but the entire adventure takes place in a modern day supermarket. So if that sounds intriguing, definitely go check that out. You can sign up for it. There are 5 seats left in that one out of 6. And then keep watching my Twitter, because I post about new games and one-shots that I'm running that you can sign up for. You can also just message me directly if you would like to hire me as a GM for a custom adventure. I think that's about it for everything to share and plug and where you can find me. Quick shout out to the Children and Champions of the Fae supplement for D&D 5th edition. We used that quite a bit in season 1. I think we're still using some of the stuff from that in this season as well. You can check it out. There's a link right there in chat. And then our sponsor is Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre. So you can do high fantasy like this, or sci-fi, or anything in between. It's super versatile. You can pick up physical copies on Amazon, or if you prefer PDFs, or if you just want to try the free quick play guide, you can grab that at my coffee shop, which is it's just right there at the bottom of the screen there. And aside from that, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, this game. If you would like to support the cast and crew for this show, we have a really cool crowdfund page. There's the link right there. It's also, if you just go to my coffee and go to the shop, you can find it there. If you can't see the link for some reason. And there's a lot of really cool backer perks on there, including a full res version of this really cool map that Anna made. And yeah, you should go check it out. I think that is everything. So we're going to go on a raid. Let me find a new place to go. Looks like Nerdsmith is still streaming, so we're going to head over there. That's an awesome channel. Some really cool people over there, so go say hi and follow if you aren't doing so already, and I will see you all on Saturday. Bye, everybody.